The school fundraiser ended at 7 p.m., and by 7:08, I was speed-walking toward the exit of Bounce Galaxy. I had spent 3 hours selling cupcakes to people who kept asking if they were gluten-free. I was almost at the front doors when my phone buzzed. The message came from an unknown number. Come to the Glow dodgeball room. Alone. It's about Jackson. My brain stopped working. Jackson Reed was my crush. Not a tiny crush. A full embarrassing, write his name on the corner of my notebook and pretend it was a math symbol kind of crush. He was captain of the basketball team, weirdly nice to lunch ladies, and once held the door open for me while I walked into the wall beside it. So obviously, instead of being smart and going home, I turned back into the trampoline park like a raccoon following fries. The Glow dodgeball room was in the back, past the foam pit and the ninja course. The lights were dim, the music was off, and everything smelled like rubber socks and old pizza. Jackson? Then I heard whispering behind the stack of dodgeballs. I peeked around the corner and froze. Jackson was there! With Sienna Vale! Sienna was the queen bee of our school. She had perfect hair, perfect nails, and the personality of a glitter-covered knife. She was Jackson's ex, even though she told everyone they were just complicated, which was rich girl code for I refuse to be dumped. She looked at me like I had crawled out of a trash can. What are you doing here, Mia? Are you following us now? Before I could explain, the heavy door behind me clicked. Jackson rushed over and pulled the handle. It did not open. He pulled harder. Nothing. Stop being dramatic. Jackson kicked the door. Still nothing. That was when all three of us realized the room had locked from the outside. At first, we shouted. Then, we screamed. Then we banged dodgeballs against the wall like 3 idiots trying to defeat architecture. Nobody came. The staff had already left. The fundraiser buses were gone. And because the universe had a personal beef with me, Bounce Galaxy was closing all weekend for private maintenance, which sounded fake, but was apparently very real. Perfect. I pulled out my phone to call for help. 1% battery. Then black screen. Amazing. The genius brought a decorative phone. Where's yours? In my locker bag by the front counter. Jackson checked his pockets and went pale.
Mine's in my backpack.
Where's your backpack? He pointed through the locked door. Great. We were trapped in a glow-in-the-dark dodgeball room with no phones, 1 queen bee, 1 crush, and the world's saddest pile of foam cubes. For the first hour, Sienna complained about everything. The floor was disgusting. I breathed too loud. Jackson needed to tell me to sit farther away. And Jackson actually comforted her. He sat beside her, let her lean on him, and kept saying to stay calm. I wanted to throw a dodgeball at both of them, gently, but with emotion. Then my stomach growled so loudly it echoed. Sienna opened her designer gym bag and pulled out a protein cookie. For one beautiful second, I thought she was going to share. Sorry, I only packed enough for people who were invited. Jackson looked at me like he felt bad, but Sienna wrapped both arms around him. Babe, I'm cold. Babe? I wanted to dissolve into a foam cube. To distract myself, I started singing the dumbest song I could think of. I jumped on a trampoline and landed on a bean. Then I smelled something mean, and it was Sienna's hygiene. Jackson covered his mouth. Sienna gasped. Did you just rhyme hygiene with bean? No, I rhymed it with queen. You interrupted the art. She moved away so fast I almost felt proud. Later that night, I woke up to kissing sounds. Yes, kissing sounds. Apparently, Sienna had a bad dream and needed emotional support from my crush's face. I sat up furious, hungry, and so jealous I could taste metal. Then Jackson looked over Sienna's shoulder and mouthed, sorry. I pretended not to understand. What was he sorry for? Being trapped? Kissing his ex? Existing with cheekbones? Around midnight, Sienna finally fell asleep on a pile of foam blocks. Jackson crawled toward me.
Mia, I need to tell you something.
If it's that Sienna has a hidden nice side, I will scream.
No, I sent the message.
What?
I wanted to talk to you after the fundraiser. I like you.
My heart did a backflip, slipped on a trampoline sock, and died. You like me?
Yeah, but Sienna grabbed my phone earlier. She must have changed the message to send you here.
Then why were you here with her?
She said she needed closure. I thought we were talking for 10 minutes. Then she started crying, and I didn't know how to leave without making it worse.
Why are you still letting her hang all over you?
It's complicated.
I hated that answer, because complicated usually meant stupid. Before I could ask more, Sienna shifted in her sleep. Jackson moved away so fast you would think she had built-in radar. The next morning, we found a small maintenance hatch behind a wall of inflatable mats. It led to a storage tunnel under the trampoline court. There were extra socks, cleaning wipes, water bottles, and vending machine snacks. I nearly kissed a bag of chips. Move! Sienna grabbed the biggest box like she had discovered gold in a pirate cave. You can't claim all the food. Watch me. I grabbed one side of the box, she grabbed the other. We pulled so hard the bottom ripped open and snack bags exploded everywhere.
Stop.
A pack of cheese crackers hit him in the face. Sienna screamed. I slipped on a water bottle, bounced off a soft mat, and landed sitting inside a bucket of spare trampoline socks. For 5 full seconds, nobody moved. Then Jackson laughed. Not a polite laugh, a real laugh. Sienna looked like someone had slapped her with a wet sandwich. That never happened.
Sure.
And for a second, it felt like he and I were the only normal people in the room, Sienna noticed. That afternoon, she suddenly became sweet. She apologized and said being trapped was making her act crazy. She said girls should not fight over a boy, even though she had spent the last day treating me like a disease with bangs. Then she pulled a soft pink hoodie from her bag. You look cold. Take it. I was suspicious, but I was also freezing. So I put it on. 10 minutes later, I smelled something awful. Not normal awful. This was gym locker meets rotten cheese awful. Jackson looked around politely, like he was trying to pretend his nose had suddenly resigned. Sienna covered her mouth. Oh my gosh, Mia, are you okay? I wanted the floor to swallow me, but it was trampoline, so it only bounced me when I tried to crawl away. It happened again later after she helped dust foam off my backpack. Then again after she accidentally squeezed my water bottle before handing it back. By nighttime, I was so embarrassed I sat across the room and considered changing my identity. But Jackson came over and sat near me.
I don't care.
That is easy to say when your nose is not being attacked by invisible garbage.
I still think you're cute.
I almost forgot to breathe. Then Sienna woke up and glared at us. The next day, everything cracked. Jackson had been quiet all morning. Sienna kept poking him, demanding hugs, demanding apologies, and demanding that he tell her she was prettier than me, which was insane because nobody was prettier after sleeping on dodgeballs. Finally, he snapped.
We're done, Sienna.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
She smiled slowly. Should I tell everyone your little secret? Jackson went pale. I looked at him. What secret? Jackson here is only still on the basketball team because I saved him.
That's not true.
So you didn't take the blame when someone smashed Coach Miller's office camera after the homecoming party? My jaw dropped. Jackson looked at the floor. He got suspended quietly. My mom talked to the principal. My family made it disappear. Everyone thinks Golden Boy is perfect because I let them.
You broke the camera. You told me your scholarship interview would be ruined, so I took the blame.
And?
Fictional animated
That
drama.
was the moment I stopped being jealous and started being scared. but I still did not fully trust Jackson either. He had stayed quiet too long. He had let her treat me like trash. And even if Sienna was the bigger problem, I had no idea how much of his story was true, because Sienna did not love Jackson. She owned him, or thought she did. Later, she cried, huge tears, tiny voice, full tragic princess mode. She told me she was insecure, and that Jackson was the first boy who made her feel chosen. She said girls like me always won because we were real and she was just pretty. And because I am apparently a fool with eyelashes, I almost believed her. She shared her last cookie with me. I took one bite. My stomach immediately threatened to start a podcast. That was when I knew. While Sienna slept, Jackson helped me search her bag. Inside a makeup pouch, under lip gloss and glitter hair ties, we found a tiny black spray bottle labeled Locker Room Revenge. He stared at it. I stared at him. Then we both stared at Sienna. She's been spraying this on my hoodie and stuff?
To make me think you were gross.
I laughed once because if I did not, I might have started throwing foam cubes like a villain origin story. Then Sienna opened her eyes. Give it back. Jackson stepped in front of me.
No.
Sienna stood up. Her hair was messy, her mascara was smudged, and for the first time, she looked less like a queen bee and more like a trapped wasp. I sent the message. Happy? I wanted Mia here because I knew you liked her. I was going to scare her, record her crying, and make sure she never came near you again. You planned this. Girls like you always steal things because you think being awkward makes you special. I didn't steal him. You were going to... Then she ran to the control panel beside the inflatable court.
Sienna, don't.
She slammed buttons randomly. The lights flickered. The giant inflatable airbag near the foam pit made a horrible wheezing sound. Then the emergency shutters dropped over the inner exits with a metal bang. What did you do? I don't know. The airbag began to deflate, pushing mats and foam blocks toward the storage hatch. The lights dimmed. The vents stopped. The room suddenly felt smaller, hotter, and harder to breathe. Jackson grabbed the door handle and pulled. Still locked. I remembered the maintenance tunnel. The tools. There were tools under the court. We scrambled down through the hatch. The tunnel was half blocked by foam blocks sliding into the opening. I found a metal bar behind a cleaning cart and dragged it out. Jackson and I hammered at the lower door panel. Once, twice, nothing. Sienna was sobbing behind us. For one ugly second, I wanted to leave her there. I'm sorry. I hated that the words sounded real. I hated myself more for caring. Help us. She crawled over shaking and pushed with us. The panel finally bent. Cold air rushed through the gap. Jackson kicked it open, and we crawled into the service hallway one by one. Security found us 20 minutes later. The emergency system had alerted the owner, but the signal was delayed because the building's Wi-Fi had gone down. Of course it had. By Monday, everyone knew Sienna had caused the lockdown. The trampoline park had cameras, real cameras, not broken ones. The footage showed her taking Jackson's phone, sending the message, messing with my drinks, and hitting the control panel. Her parents pulled her from school before the next assembly. Jackson told the principal the full truth about the homecoming camera, too. It turned out there was old footage from the hallway that showed Sienna going into the office first. So Jackson was cleared. And me? I became the girl who survived a trampoline park with her crush, a psycho cheerleader, and weaponized snacks. A week later, Jackson met me outside the gym.
I owe you an apology.
You owe me like 9.
Fair.
Then he held out a sealed bottle of water. I stared at it.
Unopened, I swear.
I took it.
Would you maybe want to go out sometime? Somewhere with doors that open?
I tried to answer calmly, but my voice came out way too high. Yes, but no trampoline parks and no cookies from pretty girls who cry too much.
Deal.
Then my stomach made one tiny noise. We both froze. Jackson grinned. Not a word.
Adorably.
And that was when I learned 3 things. Never follow a mysterious text just because it mentions your crush. Never trust a queen bee who suddenly starts sharing snacks. And if you ever get trapped somewhere with your crush, make sure the building has working doors, working cameras, and absolutely no prank stink spray.